Welcome back to The Learning Kind. In this episode, we will explore emotional well-being in schools, parental roles, and ethical dilemmas that young educators face today. Hey pupils, this is Sharmida Kaushik, and if you're watching this, you are The Learning Kind. This is brought to you by Perpetual Pupil, experts at learning and development, currently focused on bringing new perspectives to education. Of emotional well-being when it comes to certain social stigmas that are still prevalent, even in academics, right? Taking arts is a different deal than taking sciences. What does the emotional well-being of children who identify that they cannot go forward with the majority of their classmates in the same stream look like?
It suffers. To put it simply, the emotional well-being suffers when you compare yourself to somebody else and say, oh, I'm not doing as well in academics as that person. The whole culture around exams, the whole culture around competition, if we could change it, that would help, but we can't change a society as a whole overnight. But at least in each individual classrooms, if the teacher introspects and reflects on how was his or her journey, were they good at everything? So to have that perspective and to be authentic and say, maybe that's not possible for every child. To say, it's fine. Maybe you'll do something else in life. Not to pile that pressure on and saying, oh, if you don't pass these exams, you will never be successful. That's a lot of pressure on a child. All of us have ended up getting some job or the other, right?
Yeah, true, correct.
To be honest with you, I was somebody who considered myself as a very good student. But I was in a very small school with only 30 students in the whole class. To be in the top 5 of the 30 students is not a lot, right? During my 10th standard exams, I didn't fare very well in the final exams. I thought, oh, this is easy. I've prepared so much. But when I got the marks, it wasn't what I expected. But it hasn't stopped me from achieving anything that I want in life. I wanted to study psychology. I got to study psychology. In the college that I wanted to study psychology. With the marks that I had. Life throws a lot of challenges which we learn to navigate through. All the adults need to do is to give that confidence to the child. It starts with listening to the child. If a child comes home and says, Amma, this is difficult for me, sit with that child. Most of the time, I know I'm, saying stereotypical things by, saying that maybe the parent will get upset and say, oh, go and study or something. There are really brilliant parents who will sit with the child and ask them. But what stops other parents from doing this is their own fear, right? The minute your child can't do age-appropriate academics or, get some marks that you expect them to get, there is a panic, there is a fear, and it is seen as a failure. There's a 6-year-old who's doing an exam, and if they don't do well, the parent is thinking, oh, my child is not going to have a career, my child is not going to earn enough. It's too early for that, right?
It's an irrational fear.
It is, but it's a very real fear as well.
Correct, yeah.
Because economically, all of us are needing to earn more and more to live the lifestyles that we want to live. So it is a real fear. But maybe panicking so much for a 6-year-old's grade 1 exam might not be the answer. You need to look at is, what is holding my child back? Can we get to the bottom of it? Is it some kind of lack of understanding of something that's been taught? Maybe the child's missed a couple of classes. Sometimes at that age, it can be as simple as an ear infection, which has been missed. It happens. So the child is not able to hear in one whole class, and then they can't catch up. So it might just be as simple as repeating that one particular skill that needs to be learned.
Do you have any stories of children with special needs who have broken stereotypical limitations that we set on them? This is all you can do.
When I first went into a school where I was wanting an internship, right? I went to the head teacher and said, I'm trained in teaching children with dyslexia. Do you have any children that I can, help? She said, oh, we don't have any dyslexic children in our school. But that's the first thing we learn, right? That most often learning difficulties are hidden. You don't see them.
Yeah.
So I said, do you have any 5 or 6 children in different classes? It was a primary school. They went up to grade 5. Do you have any children that are struggling with any subject or anything? Generally, you feel that they are lagging behind the others, their peers. I can just work with them. So I worked with them on a one-to-one basis. This is one student who had a lot of, academic challenges. He wasn't age appropriate in maths. He wasn't age appropriate in English, but in terms of writing. But he was excellent in oration. His speaking skills were good. You ask him any answer, he will tell you. So what is happening there's something going on with his writing. In an exam or in terms of assessments, even if it is formative assessment, you're looking at how the child is writing the answers. We never think of, hey, does the child know the answer but cannot write it? So that's where I came across something called dyspraxia. So although I was trained in dyslexia, I was thinking, this doesn't fit. This child is so clever. You ask him anything and he can speak. So then I watched him in the playground. So looking at a child in a holistic manner is also important, right? So we have playground duties, in UK, that's how it is. So I was watching him playing at one lunchtime, and I looked at, he also had some gait issues, right? He was running awkwardly, and he appeared to be a little, for lack of a better word, clumsy. So there were some falls, or when you're trying to kick a ball, it doesn't always land properly. When I looked at it and I spoke to my mentor, she said, read up on dyspraxia.
So what is the difference between dyslexia and dyspraxia?
So this is to do with movement. Dyspraxia is to do with movement.
Okay.
So if he's having trouble moving, so he cannot move his fingers in that way. So that's all he needed support with. He's a clever child who can, dictate the answers much better than his classmates.
Okay.
But he was, we have these ancient desks in India which had that sloping top.
Yeah.
That's what he needed. That is one of the things. So it comes under occupational therapy, right? So you get this, like they're doing a lot of fine motor support. So you look at how can we strengthen his fingers, or try to help him play a game which will help him move his fingers in a certain way. He's a clever child. When we told him these are the things that will help you, he would remember to do it. So I couldn't get slanting desk for him because they were all flat desks like we have. So I got him a very big file folder until the occupational therapy people could send something that we can.
Slant.
Yeah, so there is this file folder is slanting, right?
Yeah.
So you just clip the papers on top, or put a book with some support, and then it is still slanting, and then you angle it in such a way that his tripod grip works for him. It helped. I'm not saying it's excellent, but later when we discovered that we could probably give him maybe a typing tool, it became better.
Yeah.
So he wasn't really lagging behind, was he? It was more of a technical thing that we needed to get right.
Correct.
So it depends on what you're expecting the child to do and how we're supporting the child. So this is one of the examples of a very clever child who was able to do something with small changes that the school provided. Somebody like a special needs teacher provided.
Yeah. And you also said that many a times learning difficulties go undiagnosed, right? Or disabilities. Would having in-house counselors who are able to diagnose this and provide appropriate support help in any way?
So what we would need is a teacher trained in dyslexia or special needs to be able to identify these difficulties. It helps for teachers generally, all teachers, to have some understanding So we can pick up these things early. So if you have all the primary teachers trained in, in identifying different, it's very easy to say, oh, this child can't do this, right? That much the teachers know.
Yeah.
They will be aware that there are some things that the child is struggling with. We need to come to the bottom of what is it that they're exactly struggling with. For that, they can have a resource room in school and they can send the child to be assessed by a resource teacher, like a special needs teacher. But to have a minimum knowledge about different kinds of special needs that are there out there and how we can support them could be a starting point.
Nice. Also, there must be some steps that schools can take that will support emotional well-being of students. What are some of the specific things teachers, parents, and schools can do?
When I think about emotional well-being of students, I always think about the pressure that they have to perform, to do well in school. As South Asians, we have a lot of pressure in terms of upholding the expectations of the parents.
Yeah, that's true.
And that becomes so internalized for the children at a very young age that they start to panic if they can't. The expectations are so high that sometimes for young children it is hard to meet. If we can be kind to them and educate them in terms of it's okay, everybody feels pressure. And if you're able to say to the parents, don't worry, the child will catch up.
Yeah.
And to say that exams are not everything in life. You and I have done exams, Sharmada. But, being where I am now, I don't think my exams are the most important things that I did in my life.
So, what are some of the options students have apart from milestones, apart from exams, to show that they're meeting milestones, and also as a reassurance for parents?
So, if they're happy, if the students are happy and they're not, saying that they won't go to school or they're struggling, that's a good sign. Right? What are milestones really? It's like an average of where they should be. We don't worry about students who are above average, do we? So I think we only need to be mindful about something that the child can't do. Look at what the child can do and maybe hone those skills. Maybe your child is good at carpentry. Maybe your child is good at art. Maybe your child is good at photography. If we give them options to develop skills in that way, what is the child curious about? Look at it from those lens.
Okay.
Are the children given enough opportunities to see what is out there? Are we taking them out to parks? Are we just giving them a gadget and thinking that everything is happening through the gadget?
Correct.
What are the experiences? What are the community-based experiences we are giving them? Are they going to celebrate something that is very much South Asian and very much a South Indian kind of thing? When we are celebrating maybe Pongal and Ugadi, do they know where their food comes from? Do they perhaps want to be farmers? Do they want to make that difference? When I say farmers, the imagination goes to like having bullock carts and
Mowing the land.
It's a very regressive thing.
Okay.
Organic farming is becoming a very popular thing now. Most of us want organic fruits and vegetables. What about looking at those solutions? What about looking at solutions for pollution?
Okay.
There are organizations that are doing these activities in schools as additional activities.
Yeah.
What if it becomes part of the school?
Part of the exam?
Yeah, part of the exam. So what is the community-based work that you have done? Have you looked at your surrounding and have you seen how garbage disposal is happening? For Bangalore, it was a very big problem at one point in time, right? Children are very astute. They have brilliant ideas. There are a lot of environmentally aware organizations that are coming to schools and teaching them how to recycle. What can they do with the water that's left in their water bottles at the end of the day. If you create that kind of awareness and you have time during the school day to say, Okay, what is a pressing question for you? Can we do some research on that? Can we come up with answers? Then school becomes really interesting. Then all these children who have other skills will shine. I mean, the brilliant ones will shine in exams or otherwise. They will also probably be taking leadership roles in these kind of activities. But that's okay. But you are providing more and more opportunities for them to understand what is out there.
So, what does success really look like in a world where life skills take precedence over academic achievements?
If you look at the Scandinavian countries, the happiness quotient is the highest there.
Yeah.
So I would relate success to happiness rather than how much money one would have.
Okay.
So the perspective of what success means should change. How many people can be, say, the president of a country or the prime minister of a country? It's only one person at a time, right? Why is everybody trying to be that? Why can't we have other roles that are fulfilling for us? If I want to be like a foot reflexologist, I'm earning money, I'm going on my holidays, I have a family, and I'm taking care of my needs. Why can't it be equally respected as somebody who's a teacher or a doctor? It's about dignity and respect. That's what all of us are looking for, right? It's about maintaining the dignity that we have, and it's about earning the respect for who we are as individuals. What if you already have the dignity and respect? Then that's not that's a basic thing, right? All of us are born with dignity and respect. I understand that the society is structured in such a way that maybe we're not all born with dignity and respect. Some people might have a struggle to earn it. But what if it is a basic right that is already given?
Yeah. You spoke about happiness quotient, right? So going back to emotional well-being, there is a need now in schools to have counselors for children. Where would you say that schools should draw a line between confidentiality and informing the parents about the needs of the children?
So there is a lot of fear around counseling and counseling therapy when the body falls ill, right? If you have a fever, we are okay to take paracetamol. But when you have an emotional need, you just ask them to shut up and put up with it. You just say, oh, you're being weak, or oh, don't cry, or oh, it's not a big deal.
It's all in your head.
Yeah, it's all in your head. Learn to cope. Who goes to a counseling psychologist? It's just taboo. Then there is something seriously wrong with you. No, there isn't anything seriously wrong with you. It's the same thing. We are just not seeing to be a whole person. There are these different parts that need to work together, right? There is this, Japanese art form called kintsugi. And when there is a pot that is broken, they put the pot together with, kind of a gold sealant or gold or silver or any other metal to put the pot back together. Their idea is something broken need not be seen as something that is discarded. We can put it back together to be more valuable, more beautiful. So we are celebrating the imperfections. What if we have a space in our society, in our culture, to celebrate the imperfections?
Yeah, very
That's
nice.
when it will work.
Counselors in school, sometimes children are afraid to go and talk to counselors because they don't know to what extent they will keep confidentiality. So how do schools and counselors draw a line between confidentiality and how much to tell whom?
I think there is a lot that is unknown about how counseling works because of the taboo surrounding it. Not many people have the experience of going to counselors or talking to anybody that maintains confidentiality. The counselors that work in schools are trained to keep that confidentiality. I would urge the management to support that and not insist that the counselors go and tell everything to the teacher, because it might not be helpful. The counselor is only in support of the child and in support of the teachers. If the child has a safe space to go and speak their mind, then they might come back and be a little more peaceful in the classroom. which is also helping the teacher in the class. It's not about finding out, oh, what is wrong,
Yeah.
or it is about how can we support the child in every way and take away the fear that counseling has. So a school counselor can maybe have seminars where the parents are coming in, asking questions, make confidentiality as a topic to talk about, and how important it is for the mental health of the child, how important it is to support the child's emotional health so that they can do well in every other way. If there is an open communication and say, this is what I'm here for. And yes, if there is something worrying, it's not in schools. The counselor has a care of duty to tell the parents and the teachers if there's something worrying going on.
Yeah.
And even that needs to be handled in a very sensitive manner so that no party is getting hurt.
Yeah.
The counselor is not losing all the students who are coming and speaking to her thinking, oh my God, she's going to reveal everything to everybody. How do we handle these things sensitively? There needs to be protocols put in place. If there is a child in need of extra support, or if we need to call the parents in, how are we going to do that?
Yeah.
Right? We are not going to tell the whole class, oh, the counselor has asked your parents to come in.
Yeah, that's scary.
That is very scary, and that's actually very devastating for the child who's gone and shared something.
But where do the parents have to stop? Like, this is when you stop pursuing more information from the school and the counselor.
It's about trust. So trust in that professional who's a trained counselor. And the counselor should also be open with the parents and say, hey, if there is something that's very worrying, I will reach out to you. But it will be with the knowledge of the child. We need to speak to the child and say, if you're having trouble that I can't support you with, or you can't support yourself, we might need to enlist an adult. Now that needs to be the parents, right? The parents are directly responsible for the children. So we can't hide things from the parents, but to make it a safe space. And if the child is sharing something that need not be shared with the parents, they're having trouble with their friends. It's okay. They're having trouble with a certain subject. That can be taken and discussed with the teacher, saying, can we offer some special support, extra support for the student in maths or in English or in science? And that's it. You're not saying verbatim what the child has told you. Right?
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, very interesting. I think that was such an enlightening conversation. Thank you so much for coming today and making this so informative. I think I have a new perspective, and so does our audience, on how schools can manage emotional well-being, inclusive classrooms. So please accept a small token of our appreciation.
That's very kind of
for
you.
Coming today.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me. It also gives me an opportunity to share what I think and feel about education and counseling in general. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Would you like to give a message to our audience, especially the students watching, on some tips and tricks they can follow to manage and avoid exam-related anxiety?
So I would say to the parents, enjoy every moment that you have with your child, because those childhood years are not coming back. And I would say to the children, play as much as you can, be with your friends as much as you can, and studying is a part of your life. It need not be the only thing in your life. So maybe if you're stressed, talk to somebody who can support you. And I mean this for the parents and teachers as well. It's not just the students who are stressed. Everybody's stressed around exams. Also maybe something like breath work, like pranayama or yoga might work. Otherwise, just go out and play. Play with your friends and see what you can do to keep yourself happy, and listen to what your body needs.
What does inclusivity mean to you? Comment down below. And thank you so much for watching part 2 of our conversation. We hope that it sparked new ideas of creating inclusive classrooms and environments for students. And until next time, don't stop learning.